After a historic start to the season, Russell Wilson earned NFC Offensive Player of the Month honors for September. What's up, Jackie Montgomery with your Seahawks Daily. Well, Wilson rightfully deserves this award after putting up insane numbers over the first 3 weeks of the season. Wilson always says he wants to be the best to ever play this game, and for him, the preparation starts early in the offseason.
I told my performance team, SC's performance team, listen, the reality is that, this was in May or late April or something like that. I forget. But, I told them, I said, listen, the reality is that, the ball's going to be kicked off in four months, whenever that was. I said, the ball's going to be kicked off in 4 months. I'm going to have to be ready to play at the highest level, So we got to do everything we can to stay safe as possible and everything else. At the same time, we got to get our work in. We got to be ready to play. We got to. You got to like when I was practicing, I kept telling my performance team, Wesley's performance team, I was like, listen, we gotta when we're practicing, we gotta practice like the game. So I was I'm wearing shoulder pads, pants, everything. I'm playing a game when I'm practicing, running routes and doing all that stuff. And because the reality is that you're not going to get those reps. You don't really do that in the off season anyway. But it was more so for a mental thing and a physical thing for me too. And so I think that every time I was throwing, I pretty much had pads on for the most part, and just doing all that work.
I think he's just playing with no fear. I think he's been. I know he's probably continued to work on his thing is called limitless minds. Just being able to see how far he could take himself, even during his imagination. There's only so much that you could be able to do on the field without visualizing yourself being able to do it. So whether it's in the off season, whether it's even getting ready for practice or whatever, it's like he's visualizing himself being great, visualizing himself making those throws, doing things that a lot of people might not do. So when it comes down to those clocks ticking, when it comes down to that last play, when it comes down to having to make that tough throw, he's already practiced it over and over within his head, and so it's just another throw. But when you look at other people that don't visualize, they put themselves into a predicament where this is their first time even getting put in that situation and even doing it. I think he's already probably prepared for the whole entire season all the way to the Super Bowl. Now he's just literally living it.
Wilson is off to the best start of his career. He leads the league in touchdowns with 14, which is an NFL record through 3 games. The 31-year-old leads the league with a QB rating of 139 and in deep ball touchdowns, which have been a thing of beauty for everyone to watch.
My view's been from over here on the side looking at it do this and watching it freaking fly and go right to guys, He's amazing. There's something, one of the, the real aspects of the game that has always captured America and captured the fans is that ball flying so far in the air and it comes down to some guy flying down the sidelines and makes a play on it. Russell is just a master at it, and I don't think he's any better at it than he used to be. He's always been great at it. This has just been a stat for him that he's owned for years. Great awareness and sense and spatial, savvy and all of that to create it, and then obviously the great physicals that has made it's a spectacle when he plays, and so I've had as much fun watching as you guys, and I hope there's a bunch more.
Once again, we are seeing the extraordinary connection Wilson has with Tyler Lockett. Back in 2018, they connected on 10 touchdowns and a perfect passer rating. And this past weekend, we saw Lockett on the receiving end of 3 of Wilson's 5 touchdown passes.
They've been doing it for a long time. It's the last 3 years have been great years for those two guys. So this is just an extension of it. I don't know. 3 years ago, I think they had a perfect rating. So how can you do any better than that? So it's just a matter of continuing to work together and find the openings and the spacing. And the magic really happens after the play breaks down. There's the execution downfield on time and on rhythm, and that's one thing. But it's the other stuff that makes Tyler such an extraordinary player and separates him from anybody. And then of course the fact that Russ. I go back, I've said this before, I think, to you guys, that they're both such extraordinary natural athletes. They respond to situations similarly. And Tyler can do anything, play anything, shoot the hoops. He can do anything. And Russ is the same way. And all of that athleticism and natural sense and all that, it just seems to work together, and they see things the same often. And so they respond together often. And so it's just it's a magic that's really special and fun to see.
He knows the game in and out. He knows the game plan. I always tell you guys, he's like a quarterback on the field. I think that he's just been so dialed in ever since he's gotten here. I think from his experience, just being a guy who's been around professional football players before and stuff like that. He came in as a professional, as a rookie, and He had that little bump in the road with the injury and stuff like that, but he just has overcome everything, and he's an overcomer in every way. He's a man of great faith. He's a man of just high character. Just he loves doing it the right way. He just keeps finding a way to get open, and so they can't cover him, and he's just so good at everything he does.
Well, over the course of Wilson's 9-year career, this is the first time he has ever earned NFC Offensive Player of the Month. Go Hawks!